When loading into this seed, which was founded by Sergio Sacchi on Twitter, you might have already noticed that you're already at Y158 and you generate in right next to some absolutely massive mountains around you. And I will tell you this right now, this is just the beginning of the craziness you'll find in this one seed. Because yeah, you obviously spawn inside this forest, which is surprisingly high up for a forest. Like again, 150, 140, all the way up here, right next to these absolutely massive mountains, and many different types of mountains of that too. Which pretty much goes as high as mountains can actually generate in, and somehow actually have dripstone that generates like on the surface too. Not really a complaint, just more of an observation. And speaking of observations, you might have noticed the fact that there's a village that just happens to generate over there too. Obviously some pretty extreme generation that goes along with it, and apparently some hidden village houses inside of here too. So I guess I'd recommend starting up here, especially for the village and the ruined portal right here. Just be wary of all of the sudden drops you'll find around the place. And looking off in the distance, there's even more mega mountains all over the place, which for some people might be a little too much for a mountain generation, but for other people who just love excavating these huge mountains and going up and down them, then this seed is going to be an absolute treat for you. One, because the majority of them generate in pretty much as high as they could go, and two, some of them happen to have these absolutely massive openings to a dripstone biome, and as it turns out, a deep dark biome too. And that's actually relevant because deep dark biomes and even ancient cities, if that, have a higher chance of generating inside of mountain biomes, and because there are so many mountain biomes inside this one seed, you might expect there to be at least a few ancient cities here and there. And as a surprise to no one, beneath this one deep dark, you actually find an ancient city right here. But honestly, even though I'd recommend to go to this one, there's an area which I'd recommend going to more than that one. Because at around these corners, you might notice that there is an ancient city right here, but because there is no spacing limit as to how far or how close they could actually be, that means that we could actually get some ancient cities that spawn pretty much right next to each other. Because if we head from that one ancient city over to these corners right here, we might notice there's another non-ruined portal right here, which means this is yet again another ancient city. But this isn't where it ends. This isn't the end of the craziness, because if you just head in these corners right here just a little bit more, you might notice there's another ruined portal or non-portal right here, which means this is yet again another ancient city. But that's not where the craziness ends either, because if we just backpedal just a little bit back through these corridors, and heading back to the first ancient city we head to, if we head just this way past this incredible lava lake right here, we could see there's another ancient city right here. And yeah, in this one area, we get pretty much 4 ancient cities back to back to back to back, all relatively easily accessible too. Because now the loot you're actually going to get from these 4 ancient cities right next to each other is going to be absolutely ludicrous. And it's kind of hard to show it all in one single view thanks to all the caves in the area, but you kind of get a good idea from roughly around here as to how much ancient city there actually is. So I guess if you're looking for a seed with an influx of ancient cities, or like you're planning on living inside of an ancient city, then this seed I would recommend just for the absolute scale of this one huge ancient city. But honestly, even without the ancient city, just look at the deep dark biome it actually inhabits it, because just look at how high up it actually manages to generate in. Like, we're at 60 right now, and it's still going up and up and up. And I mean, I'm no expert at deep dark generation, but shouldn't it not generate all the way up at Y102? I guess we better stay below the depths then and say that this deep dark biome actually goes about 1,000 blocks in every single direction. This, the quad ancient city place is roughly around the center of it, but if you go off pretty much in any single direction, you are bound to find another ancient city. Like this one we have right here, and then off in the distance we have that one over there. There is ancient cities pretty much everywhere to be found within 1,000 blocks in any direction of spawn. And in some areas it goes even beyond 1,000 blocks, because the direction we just went about 1,700 blocks in one singular direction from spawn. So again, you are not going to be short of any ancient cities, of any deep dark biomes, or of anything like that in this one seed. Which means on the surface you're not actually going to be short of any mountain biomes you're going to find in here too. Alongside all the strange generations you'll find with the mountain biome, such as yet again another mountain village right here. And of course, hidden within these massive blobs of skulk, you'll eventually find yourself a stronghold inside of her too. So I guess if for whatever reason you're tired of going ancient city hunting, which, let's be honest, who would ever even think of that, then there's of course a stronghold you could find inside the Deep Dark too. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.